Good morning, students. So today from standard 7 English medium subject English grammar, it's a new chapter number 12. The chapter name is active and passive voice. What is the chapter name? Active and passive voice. So here today I am going to discuss with you about the active and passive voice. So first we know about what is voices and what is active and passive voice. So here given the definition of voices and active and passive voice. Okay, see here, voice is the form of a verb that indicates whether the subject of sentence performs or receives. Performs or receive the action. If the subject performs the action, is to be called active voice. If the subject receives the action, is called passive voice. The verb is in the active voice. If the subject receives the action, the verb is in the passive voice. Okay? How many types of voices? There are two types of voices. How many types? There are two types of voice. Okay? First one is active voice and second passive voice. Active voice and passive voice. So before I give this example of active and passive voice, first of all we learn about the personal pronouns in passive construction, which we use in active and we change into passive. So here the construction of means the personal pronouns passive construction active and passive. Active and passive. So here is in active, if we use the pronoun I, then we change into me. If we use the pronoun we change into us. If we change into he, then we write him. If we change into here, she into her, and they into them. Okay? I change into me, we change into us, he change into him, she change into her, and they change into them. So come here given I am going to give you the sentences, means the example of active voice. Okay? So the example of active voice is I draw a beautiful picture. I draw a beautiful picture. This sentence, the main verb here used I, so the tense is simple present tense. Which tense? Simple present tense. So first we'll see here. I is called subject, draw verb, and this the full beautiful picture is called the object. Okay, subject, verb and object used in simple present tense. We change this active sentence into passive voice. Okay, now this is the active, now comes to the passive, change into passive. So what we write the first? We write the object of this sentence. So what is the object? A beautiful picture. So we write a capital A, beautiful picture. A beautiful picture. Then comes to the verb. Here given the main verb, but we change active into passive. The verb should change into past participle of the verb given in the sentence. Okay, here given draw, so we write past participle of the verb. But one thing is needed to write when we change simple present tense into passive sentence, we write the first to be form according to the object. Here object is singular. A beautiful picture, only one picture, and also article A is here used. So what we write here, to be form, singular to be form is here we write a beautiful picture, then we write the past participle of the verb draw change into drawn. A beautiful picture is drawn, then write the word by, then comes to the subject, then here we write the subject of doer. So see here, if in active voice write I, then we write the subject of doer, means in the passive voice we write me. So what we write here? Me. Then full stop. So this is the example of active voice and change into passive voice. Then now I write the construction of all tenses: simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense, continuous tense, present continuous tense, past continuous tense. Then comes to the perfect tense: present perfect tense, past perfect tense and future perfect tense. So total 8 tenses we can change active into passive. There are 12 tenses where we cannot change remaining the 4 tenses. Okay. So this is the simple present tense. Then I write the construction of the tenses. Okay. Then giving you the example also. So the first here I have done it simple present tense. Then the right here the construction. The constructions. Okay. So the first tense is simple present tense. The simple present tense construction of active voice is subject plus verb plus object. See, subject, verb and object. Then the active, then the passive construction of simple present tense, then write the object, then this is MR to be formed. I write to be formed here is MR plus past here to be formed, then past participle, then the word by, then the word subject of a doer. Subject of a doer. So this is the construction of simple present tense. I already here written the example. Now comes to the construction. Second, simple past tense. The same simple past tense. The construction here, active voice is subject plus past form of the verb. Past form of the verb, then comes to the object. So the example of this, I drew a beautiful picture. I drew a beautiful picture. So the passive construction, write first object, then was and were according to the given object. Okay, if the sentence of active of the simple past tense, I drew a picture, so passive change. What is the passive? Then a picture was drawn by me. Okay, was, were, then past participle, then by, then the subject of a doer. Subject of a doer. First and second. Now comes to the third. So the third here I write. Okay. So now comes to the third. I have completed written it. The all tenses 8 which we can change from active into passive. First and second I have discussed with you. Now comes to the third one, the simple tenses: simple present, simple past and simple future. Okay, so the simple future tense, the structure of the simple future tense is active voice, subject plus will shall plus main verb plus object. Okay, I will write a letter. I will write a letter. This is the example of simple future tense of active sentence. Okay, I will write a letter. So the passive construction object plus will shall plus need to write be when you change active into passive in simple future tense. Which be? Object will shall be, then comes to the main verb change into past participle. Then write by and the subject of a doer. Okay, I will write a letter. So the object is a letter. A letter will be, write change into past participle, written. A letter will be written by me. A letter will be written by me. So the example of the third. Now comes to the fourth one. Present continuous tense. These two take continuous. Future continuous can be possible to change from active into passive. Okay. So now comes to the continuous. Present continuous tense. In the active structure, see subject plus is-am-are plus verb with ing plus object. The example of he is writing a letter. The same. He is writing a letter. So the passive construction object plus is-am-are plus being plus past participle plus by and subject of a doer. In continuous, in this continuous, present continuous and past continuous need to write what? Being after the to be form. Being in passive construction. Okay. He is writing a letter. That is the active sentence. Active sentence. Okay. Comes to the passive. Change into passive. What? Write the object, then to be form, then being, past participle by and subject of a doer. A letter is being written by him. I started the sentence with pronoun he. So he changed into him, subject of a doer. Now comes to the past continuous tense. The active voice subject plus was were, then verb with ing, then object. Okay. She was writing a letter. She was writing a letter. So the passive construction object was were, then she here being in both form, continuous form. Being, then past participle by and subject of a doer. Okay. She was writing a letter. So in the passive construction, a letter was being written by her. I say the she in active voice. Okay. So change she into her in passive construction at last after the by. Now comes to the perfect tenses. Present perfect tense, past perfect tense and future perfect tense. So there are total 8 tenses. We can change active into passive. Okay, number 6, present perfect tense. In the present perfect tense, we use have and has, then the past participle. So we already have the past participle of the verb, in the active voice. So in the active construction of the present perfect tense is subject plus have has plus past participle, then the object. After that, then the passive construction object, then have has, then in the perfect tense what we write? Been. See, been is necessary to write in passive construction in perfect tense. Been, then past participle, then by, then the subject of a doer. So the present perfect tense example: I have written my homework. I have written my homework. So my homework is singular form. My homework has been written by me. My homework has been written by me. Okay. Now comes to the 7, past perfect tense. The same past perfect tense and present perfect tense. Only what change? Here given the have has, and here only we have had. This past form. In active subject plus had plus past participle, then object. Then the passive construction object, then had, then the being, then the past participle by and subject of a doer. Okay. They had written their homework. They had written their homework. So their homework had been written by them. That is the active and passive construction. Active sentence and passive construction. Okay, passive sentence. Now comes to the last one, future perfect tense. See, active construction subject plus will shall plus have plus past participle, then it comes to the object. I will have written my homework. Or a letter. I will have written a letter. So the passive word comes first, object. A letter we use. A letter will have been written by me. Okay. Object will shall, then use have, then been, then past participle, then by, then the subject of a doer. So this is the construction of the all tenses which we can change from active into passive. I hope you understand about this construction and about the voices, active voice and passive voice. I hope you understand about these voices. Thank you.